Olá, boa noite. O Exou Biribó, hoje com um novo game no canal. The Book of Unwritten Tales 2, o livro dos contos não escritos 2, da alemã King Art, publicado pela Nordic Games em fevereiro de 2015, 3 anos e meio após Critter e quase 6 anos após o original. Ou seja, com recursos técnicos muito superiores. E pela soma dos anos, dá para perceber que errei numa informação no início do jogo anterior. Critter veio 2 anos e meio após o Book 1, e não só 1 ano e meio, como eu disse na ocasião. Para a apresentação, como já conhecemos bem a série e o review é bem curto, lerei o artigo de Mike Murphy no site Game Chronicles em 18 de julho de 2016. Entre desenvolvedores como Telltale e Quantic Dream, criando novas tomadas em jogos de aventura, é justo dizer que o que pensamos como um jogo de aventura tradicional mudou significativamente nos últimos 10 anos. Claro que a Double Fine fez um esforço para reviver o gênero com Broken Age, e jogos como o próximo Thimbleweed Park estão lutando duro para manter esse pulso. Mas é raro se deparar com um jogo de pura aventura nos dias de hoje. O trabalho do estúdio Wadjet Eye vem à mente e agora também a série Book. The Book of Unwritten Tales 2 é um jogo de aventura tradicional contando com um nível de inteligência, estilo e graça que seria difícil de encontrar na maioria dos lançamentos modernos, independentemente do gênero. É ambientado em um universo de fantasia enraizado e apresenta todos os recursos padrão de clicar e arrastar que você esperaria de um jogo de aventura. O que separa o jogo de outros do seu tipo está na execução. Simplificando, é ótimo. O jogo é contado a partir da visão de suas diferentes personagens, deixando espaço para profundidade e perspectivas variadas, que a maioria dos jogos, independentemente do gênero, raramente oferece. Se você está interessado, mas ainda não jogou a parte 1, pode jogar este sem perder muito. No entanto, se a história é importante para você, escusado será dizer que você deve jogar aquela primeiro e depois voltar. Não importa o que aconteça, se você é fã dos clássicos títulos de aventura Lucas dos anos 80 e 90, você deve a si mesmo jogar esses jogos. Book 2 é ótimo, de cima a baixo, em quase todos os sentidos. Os gráficos, a animação, floreios visuais e interface do usuário são todos de primeira qualidade. É um belo jogo que é fácil para os olhos. A dublagem é sólida e, embora as piadas nem sempre funcionem, a escrita é forte o suficiente para que o humor continue até o final. Efeitos sonoros, faixas de áudio e a própria partitura também brilham. Este jogo não é apenas um prazer de se ver, mas também um prazer de se ouvir. Se há algo negativo a dizer, é que Book 2 passa a maior parte do tempo sendo um pouco fiel demais aos jogos de aventura de antigamente. A maior parte do seu tempo no jogo será gasto pegando objetos, tentando mesclá-los, tentando usá-los no ambiente e caçando cada centímetro de cada tela em que você se encontra. Enquanto os fãs do gênero se sentirão em casa e não devem ter nenhum problema em dissecar exatamente o que os desenvolvedores estão pedindo que realizem, os novos jogadores muitas vezes podem se achar completamente perdidos e inseguros sobre o que fazer a seguir. É um ato de equilíbrio que não tenho certeza se alguém já descobriu, mas alguém eventualmente descobrirá e é aí que, acredito, o gênero atingirá alturas nunca vistas. Em geral, Book of Unwritten Tales 2 é exatamente o que você quer de um jogo desse tipo, e ainda além. Como mencionei anteriormente, não deixe que algumas picuinhas aqui e ali o impeçam de experimentar o que parece ser um jogo clássico, com apelo moderno, que caiu através de um buraco do tempo bem no seu colo. É um ótimo momento. Agora retomo para dizer que jogo no PlayStation 5 com vozes em inglês e legendas em espanhol. Avisem, por favor, eventuais problemas no som ou na imagem, tanto do game quanto de minha câmera ou microfone. Nova partida.
War had raged through all Avantasia. The alliance of humans, elves, and dwarves fought against the evil army of the shadows. The war had devastated the country for years upon years, and yet, no one gained the advantage. And so it was that in that time of deepest despair, that an old archaeologist uncovered the location of the artifact of divine fate. The artifact could fulfill every wish, and thus decide the war, for one side or the other. Led by Warlock Munkus, son of Archwitch Mortroga, the Shadows hunted for the artifact. And they would have reached it first, were it not for a group of heroes who stood against them. Wilbur, the young gnome who was the first of his clan to become a mage. Ivo, the courageous elven princess from the Woodland Realm. And the Critter, a hairy creature from the Northlands, companion of the most brilliant of the heroes, Nate Bonnet, who was supposed to spend the rest of his life at the side of an elven princess, who deserved a kingdom and all the riches in the world, who should stop wasting time talking about himself in the third person. Ah! Good, good. This is good. Although the ground is still getting closer. Part of the jetty. At least some of it survived the explosion. If I'm lucky, this will go all the way up to the island. But somehow I really doubt it will. Oh!
Oh, hi, Nate. How's it going?
Good. For now. Could it be that your spell didn't quite work out the way you planned?
I did tell you there were certain risks involved.
Alto risco, hein? Bem, não acontece nada.
No big thing. So, now that we have a little time to kill, why don't you tell me a little something about yourself?
Oh, right. Well, yes, I came into this world in an oasis in the Umzu Desert, and at that time, I was...
Are you out of your ever-loving mind? Definitely not the time to reminisce.
Then why did you ask?
I could use some help here, Benny.
Well, you did see what happened last time I cast a spell.
Time to make up for it, then. Now shake a leg.
Oh, I don't know. I might just end up making everything worse.
Piorar? Para o tempo, inverte a gravidade.
Can't you just stop time? Or wings! Give me wings! How about that?
Oh, this is all terribly complicated. I really don't feel up to it today, Nate.
Benny!
Perhaps tomorrow? I really do need to think through what's happened today properly.
You get me out of the mess you got us into right now!
Please don't yell at me! I just can't take it anymore!
Benny!
Voltou pra lá.
Ah! the state he's in, we can forget about miracles. I gotta find something easy, something even he thinks he can do. A flying carpet! Is that too much to ask?
I'm not talking to you.
Why you... I'm sorry I criticized your work, Benny.
And?
And that I shook your lamp. And everything else. You meant well.
Well, all right then. I forgive you. What can I do for you?
Carpet!
A flying carpet. Shouldn't be too hard. Should I really dare? Am I really up to it?
Yes!
Fez. Tapete voador.
What the heck? What happened here? No!
Por que isso?
One last tip before I go. If you press square, all interesting objects in the scene will be displayed. Good luck with your adventures in the Book of Unwritten Tales 2.
I'm worried about you.
Oh, Mother.
What's wrong with you?
Everything's fine.
No, you don't look well at all. Positively rotund. It is unseemly for an elf princess to cope with her frustrations by comfort eating. If you carry on like this, you won't fit into your wedding dress.
I don't have any intentions of marrying anytime soon.
Oh, darling, we've been through that already. Prince Lalilos is going to be arriving next week. You will like him. He's charming and... Look, he sent us a picture of himself and his sister.
Which of the two is the sister?
The elf nobility, unfortunately, has not got any unshaven Neanderthals to offer. You'll just have to get used to that.
I don't have the slightest interest in that person. Not anymore.
You are at the heart of the elf kingdom, in the castle of your family where you belong. No one here should be sad, tired, or fat. I only want what's best for you, Ivo.
Se quer o melhor, deixa ela casar com quem ela quiser. Se quiser.
Have you seen this prince? A vain river elf who's only interested in topping up his tan. I'm to spend hundreds of years in the company of someone I don't love? Not me. And how? She will try anything and everything. Nothing's more important to her than getting me married off. When I was out there with the humans, it was the first time that I had the feeling I could determine my own destiny. Yes, it was dangerous. Doesn't that go with the territory? A life without risk, that is so... Oh, you don't understand. If I could, I would go right now. You want to stop me? Just like last time. I didn't want to tell Mother, but I've not been feeling too well lately, Cheap. I'd say the same thing, but we elves hardly ever get ill. Yeah, you've got a point there. I spent almost a year in the human world and they have some very strange ideas about personal hygiene. Well, I thought perhaps it's a curse. Oh, no, you won't. I'll take care of it myself. Mother would make a state occasion out of it. I don't know either, but I'm sure there's a medical book down in the library. No, rest is not what I need just now. And you really think it's appropriate for me to be locked in here too, eh? Yes, only what's best for me. She always says that. I'll go down to the library and look up what's wrong with me, completely alone, just like a grown-up elf. I'm not going to be stopped, neither by locked doors nor by you.
Olhar a flor.
A beautiful red flower. It was only put here a few days ago. Sometimes Mother orders a new plant that looks nice in my room. And then it's replaced and planted in the garden. A delicate, sweet scent. It reminds me of a wood over in the west where I learnt to use a bow and arrow. A delicate, sweet scent. It reminds me of a wood over in the west. Normally this bowl is full of fruit and nuts. Presumably Mother has decided I should be without such things whilst I am, as she says, positively rotund.
Olhar a cama.
I've been sleeping badly of late, and sometimes I feel tired all day long. I've never been ill, but something isn't right. I hope I'll find the answer in the library. An envoy from the Far East gave me this musical box years ago. Wherever I go, I always have its tune in my head. A guard with a spear and shield, and like all elven figures, immaculate. When Nate and the others lived here, Nate often made intimations that were to do with the bed. I don't know why, but I know Mother wasn't happy about it. She moved him to a guarded guest room at the other end of the castle. And Cheap Cheap was ordered never to leave my side. My jewellery box serves as a podium for the vertically challenged narcissist. Could you please move aside? I want to get into my jewellery box. He doesn't listen to me anymore since I almost caused him to be roasted by fireballs, decapitated by swords and eaten by monsters. Mother has permitted him to disregard any of my orders that go against her wishes. His interpretation of this can be liberal.
Ele quer olhar-se no espelho.
I had my birthday during the few weeks that we spent living together here in the Elf Burrow. That was a big deal for Wilbur. He couldn't understand that the significance of birthdays tends to fade after a few hundred years. He insisted on making me a present. He sat in the corner for days knitting me this hat with his little gnarled fingers. Wilbur didn't know that autumn would last for years to come and that elves don't feel the cold, but it was still the best birthday present I've ever had. Mother looked at the hat with so much revulsion that I didn't take it off for days. Wilbur just beamed with pride. The times when the others were here in the Elf Burrow, those were the best that I've ever had. The critter could never keep still when I was drawing him. He was always pulling faces and trying to make me laugh. Wilbur was so excited. He loves elves and our stories. He spent hours sitting with my father and listening to him talk about bygone ages. Complete idiot.
Ir ao balcão.
We have many exotic plants here in the palace, but sunflowers are my favourite.
Colher algumas sementes.
Apologies, I need a few of your seeds. I've still got some seeds and shouldn't take more than I need.
Descer. Não. Olhar o telescópio.
I used to look into the woods for days on end, imagining what the world beyond would be like. Now I know, and I think I miss it. I've seen much suffering, much evil and unkindness in the world out there, but it was exciting. It was alive. Here in the Elf Burrow, everything is so ordered, so perfect, so dull. One day's just like the next, and they just pass by endlessly. One can almost see the edge of the wood through the telescope, but I just can't leave the Elf Burrow. Mother would never forgive me, and there are so many dangers lurking out there. Cheep Cheep likes to look at his reflection. He strikes a pose and then tries to impress himself with it, and succeeds most of the time. Hey Cheep Cheep, I need the mirror. I only need it for a minute. Oh, he's not budging, and his pecs can be damn painful when he puts his mind to it.
Retrato do Príncipe Lalilus.
Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother seized the opportunity to marry me off to a proper elf prince. So far, I've managed to frighten off every candidate successfully, but she's starting to lose her patience.
Sementes de girassol frescas. É para tirar o chip-chip ali do outro lado. Pegar o espelho. Pôr no prato.
Cheep Cheep, would it be possible for you to stop admiring yourself for 2 seconds and move over to stuffing your beak instead? Don't say I never look after you.
Por que ela não aproveitou para examinar o porta-joias também? Colocar o espelho por aqui.
Hey, withdrawal symptoms?
Quero
A contented fat blue bird and his reflection.
Abre a caixa.
I just need the music box a minute. You don't need to turn your head away from your beautiful reflection for 1 second. Come on. Shh. He's gone to sleep. It got dark and he's simply... No matter. I can now enjoy a few moments of peace. And that's the sound of Cheep Cheep snoring. He's a bit special like that. Pearls, precious stones, sparkling earrings and necklaces. All the stuff I have to wear at official functions. If it were up to Mother, I would have trunkfuls of this stuff, and a wing of the castle would be my wardrobe. She just can't understand why Pa and I aren't into this sort of thing. Mother's locked me in, as if I was 200 again. Since I secretly escaped from the elf burrow last year, she's taken to guarding me closer than ever before. The box, as well as its hinges and lock, has been fashioned from one piece of tree root. A masterful piece of workmanship, just like everything else here in the elf burrow. I'm going to have to take a few more of your seeds, but I promise this is the last time.
Descer para o jardim.
Let's go. As expected, no one here. My parents are in the throne room ruling the lands, or rather Mother is. A fairly small, unattractive tree.
Huh! I'd like to see how attractive you'd look if someone disturbed you on the pot in the morning.
You mean...
Anyway, what can I do for you, my little beauty?
O jardim está fantástico.
The garden always looks fantastic, Arbor.
Thank you. It's a girt load of work. People always think elf gardens are fabulous by their very nature. But you need a mighty good gardener.
You have got green fingers.
Ah, that's just moss, my dear. Happens if you spend all day grubbing around in the earth and don't wash your hands properly in the evenings.
Conte-me algo sobre os ents.
You tree shepherds do a great job.
Tree shepherds? The trees just stand there. What do they need a shepherd? However, I quite fancy one of those shepherd dogs. Hey, Rex, do you want to be my shepherd dog? Nah, my darling, I'm a gardener. Nothing more, nothing less.
Eu voltei a discutir com a minha mãe.
Mother put me on a diet this morning so that I'll look perfect for my wedding.
Oh, everything has to be perfect for her. No such thing in nature, of course. Or rather, everything is perfect if you just let nature run its course.
You tell that to Mother.
I have, many times. She be very clever in some things, but very daft concerning that.
Now then, she is the queen.
I'm old enough to be able to call a spade a spade. Spade, gardener, get it?
E o que você faz hoje?
What are you up to today then? Got much on?
Oh, the usual. You know, it never rains in the Elfborough, but the flowers need their water, so I water them every day.
Ah, the curse of good weather.
The weather isn't the only thing which isn't right. I've been here 30 years, and for 30 years we've had autumn.
Time passes differently in the Elfborough. Slower.
Well, that's why everyone grows to be ancient here, obviously. But if we had a bit of normal weather and the usual seasons, there'd be a lot more variety here.
Tu te dá bem com meu pai, não é?
You and Father, you get along well, don't you?
Ah, no one understands more about nature than him, that's for sure. But I don't often ask him for help. Thinking has never got a field dug, if you get my drift.
He's just more of a theorist.
Ah, the mud on your feet, the smell of fresh earth, all that joy and life. And he's missing out on the lot by just sitting around up there and doing nubbit.
I have to get on.
Yep, got a bit to do myself. I just don't know what's wrong with that plant over there. Your mother got a whole heap of flowers given to her the other day from a fairy delegation. All of them took good and strong, just not that one.
Perhaps it needs a special type of soil or something.
Well, anything's possible. If I don't think of something soon, I'll have to ask your father. He can have a little chat with her and she might tell him what's up.
If you're going in, it'd be nice if you didn't tell my mother that you saw me out here.
Oh, you playing hooky again? My lips are sealed.
It doesn't look very well at all. It's unusual for flowers to hang their heads in this garden. Normally they blossom in our good earth, not to mention the power of Arbor's green fingers. If Arbor doesn't know what's wrong with the plant, then it's serious. As long as this plant isn't doing well, Arbor won't rest. Not knowing what's wrong with it will eat away at him. This is Mother's mirror. It's said that you can see into the furthest corners of the land and know what's happening in every part of the world. At the moment, it's no more than a shallow bowl. The water's missing.
Como é que faz para colocar, para ver essa colmeia, por exemplo? Agora foi por acaso.
Mother thought it was unseemly of the bees to build their hive in our garden. I don't think she could get used to the thought that she would no longer be the only queen here. I convinced Mother not to have the hive removed, and she reluctantly agreed. However, should she be stung, then the hive's days are numbered. I don't know the names of all the plants in the garden. Grandmother knows them all, which is probably down to the fact that it was her that gave many of the plants their names a few thousand years ago. Shite beerwood, sweat tea, dodder flower, fat hen, bistort, stink root. We no longer invite her to family gatherings. Arbor's pot, literally. The earth looks dark and rich with worms squirming around in it. Presumably it's the best earth in the garden.
Olha lá, eu quero aquela lupa de baixo. Como é que eu vou agora?
A handy smooth stone, Arber's sheepdog.
Pegou a pedra. Não era para pular lá para cima. Era para examinar aquela bacia que estava lá embaixo. Esta bacia.
There's only a little water left in the bird bath. Cheep Cheep always says that it evaporates quickly. I, however, think that the constant need to replenish the water is more down to his unbridled joyous splashing and not insignificant body mass. That's a weeping willow. It appears to be so content it looks anything but sad. There are elf-made ponds and streams all over the palace ground. Their water's said to have healing powers. No wonder considering where it comes from. That leads up to the throne room. Mother will be conducting the affairs of state with an iron will, whilst Pa leans against the tree of life, probably sleeping. I'm not going up there. I've no appetite for discussions with Mother.
E como que vai na biblioteca? Como que ela veio parar aqui? Pra cá subia pro quarto, de repente virou biblioteca.
Swords of all the idiots who have tried to conquer the elf burrow. It's become less frequent over the last few centuries. Humans and dwarves appear to have learnt their lesson.
Esse jogo é bem melhor com o mouse.
There's a selection of cubes here. For a while, it was all the rage at official state visits to give geometric presents. The Biggest Plant Book of Avantasia by Charles Mendel with illustrations by Alexander Bonpland. A standard reference book that Arber always used to consult every now and then. However, he insists that he now knows it off by heart. Perhaps I can help Arber solve the problem with that flower. Let's take a look.
Qual é a flor? É essa daqui, né? Lírios amorosos.
This plant reminds me of the one that Arber's having problems with at the moment. Love lily. The love lily enters into an enduring relationship with another plant very early in its life, which frequently lasts its lifetime. If the partner plant dies, then the love lily does not normally survive the separation.
Por isso aquela planta no vaso. Ela tem que levar pro lírio amoroso. Ficou separado, ficou triste.
A present from one of the northern kingdoms. Strange folk up there. The men climb mountains and shout foul-mouthed things in dragon's language at the dragons. I think it's some kind of test of courage. Goldsmithing, masonry, and a book about carpentry. Like all books in this library, it's a guest present. The logic behind this must be, those elves, they have so many beautiful statues and items of wood. They'll be really interested in this. Why don't we present them with a book about it? What they don't realise, though, is that if we're interested in a subject, then we'll already know pretty much all there is to know about the matter, and the book's of no use to us whatsoever. Working with wood. There's a master whittler down in the valley. I've enjoyed watching him in the past. He carves animal figures so real that humans and dwarfs believe that they are actually animals turned into wood. This one's more about interiors, making furniture and the like. Plane the wood down by a pixie's thumb and saw the board into 2 equal length pieces. Who knows what that might be good for? A great example of the variety of our world's fauna. Some of the ideas Mother Nature has can be quite off the wall. Several books about animals, an atlas, a book about humans, actually more of a brochure. And what's this? Fishing for the moderately talented. I haven't really got the time to sit and read a book, and if I had, it would definitely not be one about fishing. There must be a medical book for elves here somewhere. Sometimes it's difficult to believe that some creatures in our world have developed naturally. They look as if some bored artist has dreamt them up. A few years ago, this dragon was causing a whole lot of grief. A bounty was put on its head, and all heroes of the land were encouraged to hunt it down. 40 brave warriors penetrated its lair and slew it. They brought the head to the palace where it was displayed in triumph. The strange thing was that a bit later more adventurers came carrying an identical head. Then more and more heroes arrived.
Olhar a estante de livros.
What have we got here then? Aha! Ah! Almanac of Elf Medicine. That's what I've been looking for.
Ow! Be careful, if you please.
A speaking book?
An ill elf?
Elfa enferma, pareço enferma.
Ill elf? So I look ill. What's wrong with me?
Take it easy, young one thing at a time.
Young one, I'm older than you.
And you look it too.
I do?
No, of course not, and I can also see no illness. But the mere fact that I've been fished out from the back of the shelf for the first time in centuries tells me that something is wrong.
Não me encontro bem, que passa?
I haven't been feeling too well recently. I'm sleeping badly and have no appetite. I know that elves are very seldom ill, but if it's not that, then it must be some kind of magic or curse.
Seldom ill does not actually mean never ill. Elves can, for instance, suffer from a broken heart.
Oh, please.
It is one of the most common causes of death amongst beautiful princesses.
Oh, it must be something else.
Sensitive elves can sometimes suffer from the pains of the world. There are a variety of ear infections, and of course it could also be lupus. But I think it is something else.
Like what?
To be completely certain, you must mix a potion and drink it.
Are you serious?
Very.
I demand to know this instant what sort of illness I have.
Sometimes it's better not to know.
I can take it.
A placebo only works when one doesn't know that it is a placebo. Make the potion and then come back and drink it. Then we'll be sure.
Então estaremos documentados.
All right, this potion, what goes in it?
It is very easy to make. You need to pound together the green fruit of a metis bush, a spoonful of honey and a red herring, and then mix with water into a viscous potion.
Oh, that sounds revolting.
It's medicine. It isn't supposed to taste nice.
And if I drink it, I'll be well again?
We will then at least know what is wrong with you.
Onde posso encontrar arbustos tomatos?
This metis bush, where can I find one?
Haven't a clue. I'm just a book and have spent years sandwiched between dusty hymnals and a tome of revolting recipes.
Arenque vermelho.
A red herring. Are you serious?
Of course, why not? Red herrings are known all over the land as particularly useful fish. Their uses in the areas of medicine, cuisine, and literature are too numerous to mention.
All right, so I've got a red herring. Thank you. I think that's all for now.
Normally, it's me that ends patient consultations. You are only a princess, but I am a doctor.
Se essa
The door
porta...
can be opened easily from the outside. If it was up to me, it would stay open.
Ah, tá. Ela já explicou como é que essa porta está aberta. A planta.
This flower was given to us by the fairies, just like the love lily down in the garden. I bet they belong together.
Leva o casal lá.
Look, do you know this flower?
Laila!
Ha ha ha! You did well, girl.
It would appear so.
You snivelling girl. You all right?
No. Yes? I don't know.
Well then, I think I've earned myself a little rest now.
Isn't that just lovely? Two plants that have found each other and want to spend the rest of their lives together. That's Arbor's little spade. He always leaves his stuff all over the garden, which of course drives Mother mad. You're having a good time, I see.
What can I do for you?
Encontrei livro sobre trabalhar a madeira.
Look, I found this book in the library.
Woodcrafts? Why are you showing me that?
I thought it might interest you.
I don't like horror stories.
Horror stories?
Wood that has been clamped into a revolving monstrosity to be whittled down layer by layer to the core? What do you call that then?
Sorry, never looked at it like that.
Branches sawed off, boards nailed together, wood treated with chemicals. Oh, sick stuff.
Peguei emprestada sua pá.
I just need to borrow your spade a moment, is that okay?
Of course. Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Fumar não é saudável.
You shouldn't smoke.
Why not?
It's not healthy.
No lungs, no problems.
Don't you think it's a bit weird and warped to smoke yourself?
Yeah, I know. I'm terrible. Don't tell no one, though.
Do you sometimes miss your old life and the world out there?
It's comfortable here, to be sure.
And boring.
Well, if you're bored, then why stay?
Me? Well, I'm the princess. And Mother's scared that something might happen to me out there. And to be honest, she's probably right.
Well, of course something could happen to you. And what's it called when things happen to you? Life. That's what it's called. You fall over, you get up, you laugh, you cry, you do daft things. Well, how can one enjoy the sunshine if it never rains?
Necessito fazer uma poção.
If I were ill and needed to make some medicine, then you'd help me with that, wouldn't you?
Ill? You're an elf. Elves don't get ill.
But if I were...
Oh, come on, now tell me, how can I help you?
Há algum arbusto metos no jardim?
Do we have a lettuce bush in the garden here?
That bush over yonder.
But that fruit's red.
And what colour do you expect, then?
Green. Are they only green when they're not ripe?
Nah, they're blue then. They're green when the bush senses danger.
Pardon?
The lettuce bush has exceptionally delicious sweet fruit. But if it thinks it's in danger, then they go green and very sour. Call it a defence mechanism.
Ah, and the bush only has red fruit because it has nothing to be afraid of here.
That's right.
Tem que assustar o arbusto. Tem ideia de como eu posso pegar o mel?
Do you know how I could get my hands on some honey?
Try the kitchens.
I prefer not to wander through the castle.
Of course. Someone would tell your mother.
Would that beehive in the tree over there be of any help?
Oh, I'd be careful with that. The bees defend their honey and can give you a nasty sting.
Couldn't they be distracted or tricked in some way?
Beekeepers wear protective clothes and use smoke that calms the bees. But I don't have any beekeeper kit here. I just let the bees keep their honey and they pollinate my flowers. That's how we've always done it.
Me empresta a vara de pescar? Eu vou pegar o arenque.
I often see you fishing. Could you lend me your rod?
Of course, if you bring it back in one piece. What's up?
I was convinced that I would have to make my own fishing rod or that you'd ask me to collect a variety of mystical items in exchange for it.
Why? It's only a rod.
Thanks.
Not everything needs to be complicated, you know.
There's something else. I have to get on. Don't work too hard.
That I won't.
This is a lettuce bush, just what I need. Only its fruit is red, not green. I really shouldn't... it's only earth. I should tell Mother how her daughter... well, she'd be delighted.
Ela pegou o quê? Minhoca para pescar.
The worms provide a great lure and should increase my fishing success rate, whatever that is. I always hang one onto the hook before I cast the line out. The worms are happy and fat. The earth in the bonsai pot seems to have done them good.
Pescar.
I don't have a clue about fishing, but I'll try my luck.
Nível de pesca, 0.
Just as I expected, nothing. On the other hand, somehow I have the feeling that I now know what I'm doing.
Subiu para 1.
I guess that I can just practice until I'm good enough. Or I could try to speed things up by learning more about fishing elsewhere.
O livro de pesca, ela está no nível 2. Olhar a cascata, mas ela não...
The spring brook emerges up there. It's still small here, but it becomes one of the largest and most important rivers in the woodland realm. The willow is stretching its branches up high into the sky with glee. One part of the waterfall's already lying in its shadow. If it continues to grow like that, it'll shade half the garden. This flower clearly is one of the more exotic of the palace's flowers. It comes from a country in the deep south beyond the deserts. It's said that the flower of this plant used to be sent as a declaration of war, or if one wanted to deprive someone of all sense. Why do so many people hate this flower? Perhaps it has an abhorrent smell. Now that explains why this flower is classified as a weapon in 24 countries.
Ela já sabe como assustar.
Perhaps there are a few practical hints and tips in the fishing book. A lucrative season with a successful technique doesn't just depend on the type and quality of your tackle, but also on a really good spot. It doesn't matter whether you jig, dip, toddle or feed. Wobblers, twisters, spinners, blinkers, poppers, jigs, jerks and live bait must be presented in the most enticing ways possible. I haven't the faintest idea what all that means. I presume my fishing talents are not quite advanced enough to enable me to use this book.
Vamos assustar as plantas aqui. A planta.
If the bush had a heart, it would have skipped a few beats. Thanks.
Mutos, ok. Harém que ainda tem que pescar.
A classic.
Pescou uma bota, já. Subiu pro nível 3.
At last. Now I can tick the red herring off my list.
Nível de pesca 4 e ela já pegou o harém. Falta o mel.
There are reeds and water lilies growing in the pond. Naturally, they were planted there. They don't grow in the wild so high up the mountains.
Pegar planta
I can't think of any use for a water lily, but a reed could come in handy.
Junco, é com isso que ela vai pegar o mel.
There appears to be an amazing collection of stuff accumulated in the little pond. I wonder if there's anything there that could prove useful.
Complicado jogar no PlayStation isso.
The smoke from Arba's pipe seems to be calming the bees. This is my chance.
Hey now, you all right there?
Sorry, had to do it.
Well, I'm not happy about this destruction of nature. Not unless I get half of that there honey.
I don't need any more. The rest is for you.
Oh, that'd be good stuff. But that's enough. The bees need a bit too.
Ugh, that fruit smells really sour. Thanks for the sacrifice, little fish. About 1 spoon of honey. I've nearly done it. Just missing the water. That should be simple enough. Then I'll need to crush and blend everything together.
Do lado tem a...
Water's the easiest ingredient to find. We have copious amounts of it here. That should do it. The medicine book reckoned that it should be a viscous potion. Now I've got all the ingredients. I just need to crush them.
Com essa... Ah, com a pedra, né?
I'm pretty sure that there's never been anything so utterly revolting concocted in the elf burrow ever. Oh, I hope this is some kind of joke. Hi.
Well, what's up?
A poção está pronta.
The potion's ready, but you don't seriously expect me to drink it, do you?
You must.
Cheap, I'm so... Yes, I know, but... This, medicine. Well, I did tell you that I wasn't feeling well, and the medicine book here thinks it could be something serious.
She has to drink it, the sour metis fruit, sweet honey and salty fish. That should give us an answer.
Tá bom, vamos lá.
Oh, it looks revolting.
It is medicine. It's not supposed to taste nice. That's right. Down to the last drop.
Not as bad as I was expecting. In actual fact, it's quite tasty. I could definitely drink another glass of that.
Congratulations, Ivo. You are pregnant.
Surprise! Troféu conquistado.
No. That is completely impossible. You must be wrong. Surely it's a misdiagnosis.
You are an elf and say that potion is quite tasty. I could definitely drink another glass of that. That's raging hormones talking.
I don't have any hormones. Cheap, no. No, the book has made a mistake. I cannot be pregnant. I've never stood in the divine water with Nate on Midsummer's Night singing the Song of Life. Why? How do humans do it? They do what?
Elves and humans can have children together, but it's not possible without sex.
You see? We never had sex. At least not to my knowledge.
But the diagnosis is crystal clear.
Let's just pretend that I am pregnant. There must be some explanation, rational or otherwise.
If we discount the possibility that the child was conceived by natural means, which would certainly appear to be the case here, then that leaves us with just the unconventional conception methods. Did you, perhaps, make some kind of pact with a goblin regarding the child? Child in exchange for gold or a kingdom, for example?
No.
Has a god in the guise of a bull appeared to you in your dreams? Any angels been having a word with you?
No.
Have any stars fallen from the heavens recently?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Then that just leaves magic, or a curse. But unfortunately, that is not my area of expertise.
I wish it was so cheap, but my feeling is that the book is right. I am pregnant. I'm not sure how, and I'm not sure why, but it would appear that I'm pregnant. And as all other possibilities have been eliminated, then it must be a curse that's responsible. That is fantastic! No, of course I didn't mean it like that, but just think. Me, cursed. That sounds like an adventure. Totally obvious what we need to do now. We ask Archmage Alistair. He's the wisest magician in the realm of man, and he's a friend. He'll be able to tell us what it means. Oh, no, you don't. You remember who was meant to be looking after me so that nothing happens to me, don't you? Alistair's sure to have the answers. We'll have to track him down in the Mage Tower in Seastone. Only, how are we going to get there? Seastone is days away from here. Oh yeah, saying fly is all well and good. Are you going to teach me quickly then? No, we need a fast mode of transport. And then there's the small matter of the Border Watch. Their longbows can take out a fly's eye at 400 metres, and they will shoot if said fly should dare to set foot in or leave the woodland realm without permission. You don't by any chance know the password that the Border Watch use? Typical. That's exactly the problem. Mother chooses a new password every single day, and there's no way I'll get it out of her. Oh, why don't you know the password? You normally know everything. Hey, know-it-all. Mother's mirror. It knows more than you. It must know the password. If we work as a team, we should be able to cast a little light on the matter cheap. After all, if it is a curse, then I'm the victim, not the perpetrator. Well, yes, I know that. She'll blame us whatever happens. But it's best for us to have some answers rather than just presenting her the facts, don't you think? Transport and the password. Let's go.
Então é isso. Hoje vamos parando por aqui. O Exou Biribó, agradecendo a presença, o apoio, as dicas, a torcida, desejando boa noite, até amanhã. Por enquanto eu fui.